additional charge. Quality. Each vehicle goes through a rigorous 120-point safety and quality check. Nothing leaves the lot without my personal approval. Convenience. We have financing sources for almost any situation. We offer on-site registration processing, and we have maintenance programs for years of stress-free ownership. And now open for all your maintenance needs. Our full-service repair facility, where oil changes start at just $19.99. Call today for your appointment or just stop by. So save thousands and deal with the dishes. Route 32, North Franklin. Or check us out online at dishfranklin.com. Or ring us, 860-383-4750.
Just wish, make a dish.
Hi, this is Lisa Griffin of Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank. Well, some banks offer checking account rewards, and some banks rebate ATM withdrawal fees. At Eastern, we say, why choose? Check out our Kasasa checking accounts and find out how you can get both. For more information, visit bankeasternct.com, call us at 860-889-7381, or stop by any of our branch locations today. Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank with offices in Norwich, Jewett City, and Plainfield. Member FDIC. Do you, Kasasa?
You see the signs everywhere. No alcohol if under 21. No tobacco under 21. No vaping supplies under 21. It's 21 for a reason.
Youth that use alcohol are more likely to engage in other risky behaviors, such as gambling. Learn the warning signs and how to talk to your children about addiction.
It's 21 for a reason. Brought to you by CIRAC and funded in partnership with SAMHSA. Find out more at CIRACCT.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Rich Wasilek in the morning and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Rich Wasilek in the morning and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
Look, I did it.
Excellent. You're straight now.
Not only, it wasn't just that. It was this whole mechanism just kind of like all over the place.
You need a training class on that.
I do. I'm starting to sweat. I'm starting to sound like, oh, crap. We're going to be on in a second. Holy cow.
You just made it.
I did. We did it. We did it. Holy cow. God. So, how are you?
I'm good.
Sweet. Great.
Yeah.
Caught you off guard on that question.
Yeah.
Don't ask Rich how he's doing first thing in the morning.
Always have to think about it. It's a tough question. I have to think about it. It's a tough question.
Yeah. It is a tough question because really it's like sometimes you think about it and go,
I don't know.
How am I doing? I think some people will also go ahead and just say, yeah, great. When really deep down they're dying inside.
Yeah. I got up. That's a start.
That's always a good thing, right?
I always tell people you're 6 feet above. So
that's always the best thing. That's always the best thing. How was your July 4th? Good?
It was good. Got up about 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I worked the night before. Got out at 7. And then we went to a friend's house, retired corrections officer and his wife, Kathy, and her have been best friends since she worked at Pfizer.
Nice.
And we hung out there until after the fireworks that they had at the house and came home. So
the legal fireworks.
Very legal, yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
I down on because we live like a street over from each other, but it was like a war zone last night.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sounded like it. Yeah.
It was everywhere. It was behind us. It was in front of us.
Well, there were a couple when we got home, but it wasn't too crazy. But
it
was when we got home there were a couple, but it wasn't too crazy.
Oh no, it was constant. It was constant. And then Melissa's daughter Samantha comes home and she's like, holy cow, it's like just and then she goes back in, she comes over and she goes, come inside, watch it from the sunroom. You can see from all angles. You can see from the front, you can see from the back.
It's like Beirut.
Today is a day that will live in infamy. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. But
actually, check out my Facebook page. You can see the pictures from.
Oh yeah,
it was like 38 pictures I took. Yeah,
yeah. I took a couple of pictures. I took a couple of videos and I sent them to my daughter. See what she thought. But
well, still, why always drive somewhere for the fireworks? Just
huh?
Why do you drive somewhere for the fireworks? Just sit outside and.
Well, you know what, the fireworks in town. Were you around for
No,
that?
I was
for
working
the Great
that night.
Grizzled get together.
No, I left about 6 o'clock.
Okay, all right. So again, I mean, it was so convenient, right outside my house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I actually walked across the street, so it was about 100 feet from my front door, and just look up, and then the whole thing was there.
Oh yeah.
So we've had fireworks shows in the past, you know, in Grizzled, right?
Yeah, since I've been here.
Yeah. So like were you here for the bicentennial fireworks? Okay, they were pretty
How
good.
long ago were those?
The bicentennial.
What year was that?
5 years ago, 6 years ago?
No.
Okay. So those are pretty good. Then we the town got another company came in the next year, and they were phenomenal. I mean, my God, they were crazy. So I guess you can go ahead, you know, and you can whatever show you buy, you can buy like a kind of like a mediocre show, and then have a unbelievable finale. And I'm assuming that's what they bought this year, because it was kind of like one up, you know, bing, boom, bing. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, here comes another one. The finale was amazing.
Really?
It was constant. It was just amazing. It was a hell of a show. And it was like 2 minutes just for the finale. It was just
that's pretty
everything.
cool.
Yeah. So it was a good show. So if you got to see the fireworks here in Jewett City on in Grizzled on it's Friday night. Friday night, was it?
Yes.
Yeah. You did it.
Yep. Cool.
Victoria says we're talking about the fireworks being legal, and Victoria says firemen always have the most legal fireworks.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. And
Well,
police always have the best marijuana. That's what I hear too. You know, and so I mean,
well, disclaimer: they weren't my fireworks, so that was
okay.
We were visitors.
Sure. Did you turn them in?
No, the cops are driving by. They watch.
There you go. Actually, there was we went out to get a bite to eat yesterday, and it was about 8:30 when we were leaving, and it wasn't even dark yet, and people were blowing them off.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a state trooper across the street from where we ate, and I said, "Hey, I want to go over and talk to him." Why? I want to ask him if he'll go over and give tickets to people that are blowing off fireworks in the day when you can't even see them yet.
Yeah.
Tell them to wait. She said, "No."
You find a lot of them don't really. They're not going to push the issue unless you're being dumb. That's the.
And I don't think anybody was being dumb. Everything it wasn't crazy.
No, I was working one night and we dispatched officers to someone who's complaining about people having a good time.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, I'm watching Q, enjoying them. Thanks."
So let's get right into the subject of we want to talk about co-parenting today. It can be a good subject. It can be a dicey subject. It really depends on
who you are,
you know, what your experiences are, and that kind of stuff. So you've had some co-parenting experience yourself. I have as well. Some good, some not so good.
Yeah.
You know, the bottom line is really everything we do affects kids.
Yeah.
Everything we do. So
it's interesting. You don't usually think about it at the moment, but
yeah. Before we get into it, Court says the fireworks were amazing and fantastic, or just fantastic. They weren't amazing. They were just fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan Aubin. Thank you, Grizzled taxpayers.
Yes.
Thank you, Court Kinney. So we're gonna jump right into a couple of comments, because really this is not about us. This is about everybody else, you know, to see how they feel about it and what they do. And I want to hear from men too. I don't want to hear just from women, you know, on this subject, because you're going to get a totally different, you know, and you're really going to get it based on who has, you know, custody,
majority,
you know, or physical custody in their home. So you're going to get a totally different answer. Carol says co-parenting amicably should be the norm. Absolutely right. Unfortunately, in many cases, you have to cooperate before you can co-parent.
Yeah.
That's very, very
go
true.
hand in hand. Sure.
Some
refuse to.
Yeah, they don't want to. They don't want to agree. It's just no. I'm in charge, and that's it. It's like Alexander Haig. I'm in charge now.
Yeah, like I always tried to base it on what's going to benefit Ryan, not us necessarily.
And that's the goal.
Yeah,
and that's the goal. What if you feel? Let me ask you a question. What if you feel that you had, you had physical custody of your children, and you thought the best thing for your child was to only stay with your family?
Well, one, I think
you wouldn't say it, but everything you did,
I
went towards that.
I think that it's basically whatever at what age the kid feels is going to benefit them the most.
Okay.
Would
That's
it be
fair.
easy for either person? Like if he was to decide he was to stay at his mother's all the time, because we pretty much have equal. There's no one has more than the other. Yeah, we never have legally.
Yeah. See, right there, when you say that, that's an anomaly to me. That's an anomaly to me. You know, one doesn't have the kids more than the other. So.
Well, when I worked for New London, I didn't have a chance to have him majority of the time because of my schedule. That just didn't work.
Right.
And I would go to work and I didn't know if I was ever coming home. So I would have to let her basically have him most of the time until Kathy and she was willing to bear some of the burden. So now he stays 50-50. We got a schedule that works for him. We asked him, what schedule do you want?
Right.
And he would basically one half of the week, one other half of the week. That way there was no bouncing a lot of the time. So if she would have to say, I don't, I'd be willing to right now, but he's at the age where he could actually make a decision if he wants to stay at either house majority of the time or the other to benefit him. So
Brenda says, I did it for 8 years after my divorce. It went okay. A few hiccups, but not bad for the most part. Just had to keep it about the kids.
Yeah.
When does it become not about the kids? What happens?
I think when emotions take over from the parents. That's
it was court again about the wonderful fireworks. Victoria says, when my parents got divorced in the 70s, there was a term for it. It was called being a parent. Just because the adults separate doesn't mean they stop being a parent.
Yeah, never. You shouldn't. Let me put it that way.
That's correct.
Yeah,
that's correct. I think sometimes what happens is you're not allowed to, or somebody tries to stop you from being a parent.
I think that's
and depending on who either way. Go either way.
Saying, depending on who it is, or you're talking about. I don't know if you're just talking about the court or you're talking about someone else's partner or.
No, I'm not talking about anybody in general. I'm just talking about, what if?
Yeah.
What happens then? Because then it becomes a court case. And then you're just dragging it out. And who does that affect? Well, the kids.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
Laura says, my parents divorced when I was very young. As far as I knew, there were no problems between my parents when it came to the kids. That's the key right there. I never saw them fight or argue about visitation. They never spoke bad about each other.
Yep.
Richard says, we co-parented. Well, kids had 2 houses in the same neighborhood.
Wow.
How did that happen?
That's rough. It could be.
In the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
God bless you, Richard. Neither of us paid child support and both kept our retirements.
Wow. That's an anomaly itself.
Where did you go to school and learn that? Especially for dudes, because we don't get squat in this state.
Nope.
If either of us were in a relationship, our parents knew they had little to no role in raising our kids. So there you go. There's a lot of different views. I mean, so far, what I'm reading is pretty much everything is amicable with the folks that have written in already.
Yeah.
But what about if they're not?
I was going to say, now what
it's
about...
It's not all puppies and unicorns.
No, let's talk about reality. That's I don't think...
Melissa Wooten. Good morning, Melissa. She says, Laura, she goes, I was in the same situation. I ended up with 2 amazing step parents. There were parts that were hard, but the best thing that happened was my parents divorcing.
Yes.
Sometimes that.
So I think a lot of kids, when they get older, realize maybe it was the best, but they don't realize it when they're kids.
No, but if you're taught to know that the best thing for them was, or the relationship was them breaking up, then there's nobody's harboring any ill will at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very good. I think it's a very difficult subject to jump into. It's. I mean, I know I put it out there like a very random question, but there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
You know it. I know it. Everybody that's commented. It's nice to see, those results, but it I'm sure it wasn't all.
That's what I'm saying. What's reality? What's reality? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think everything is, like you said, always going to be easy. It's impossible.
Of course not.
Any relationship, no matter whether you're dating or not dating anymore, or have a kid or not have a kid, or it's not.
Yeah. What if you have, let me ask you this. Before you met your wife, I'm sure there was somebody else you dated or whatever, or maybe had a relationship with. Sorry, Kathy, we're going to delve into something else here. Did you have any problems or any struggles with your ex, your
ex-wife,
your children's mom?
Yeah.
When it came to any relationship you may have.
She wasn't necessarily well, she didn't say she was, put it that way.
Okay.
But she didn't always make it easy.
Okay. What do you mean she didn't make it easy?
She would not necessarily say that she was preventing something from happening because of the relationship or whatever, but it was
all of a sudden it just wouldn't happen.
It was obvious. Yeah. Ryan never necessarily knew what was going on because he was younger, and Kathy and I have been together for a while now. So it's not, Ryan didn't really understand much until but just maybe before Kathy. So, but she would try and not make it easy. Like there's a rule in our divorce decree that I have to provide all transportation. For him so sometimes I'd be like, well, do you mind maybe this time no, the agreement says this, we're doing this, that's it. So, okay. So you got to leave the family event, go pick him up, and she's obviously not doing anything when you get there. And that's it. Was always boom, boom, boom until she met her new husband. And now he honestly made it easier for me because he was divorced. His kids were older already. So he understood what I was going through. So he actually talked to her and said, hey, enough's enough.
Yeah.
Why don't we just all get
what's
along?
What's
the big deal?
What's the big deal here? I mean,
so he actually helped in that aspect.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Let's get into some more comments. Good morning, Tracy. She says, when it's not amicable, the kids pay the ultimate price. The goal for everyone should be to get to the amicable status as soon as humanly possible.
I wish all these women that are saying this.
Now, Tracy, I'm not going to throw you under the bus, but this is one lady that I know that has lived that, and has gotten to that, part. I mean, I even saw your ex-brother-in-law the other day, and he was like, because we saw you at the Great Grizzle get together. I think it was what night was it? It was Thursday. We were there at the carnival.
Yep, it started.
We saw you there, yeah. And I was like, I tried to wave to you and get your attention, but it was loud. Where we were. And she's one that's done it well. She's done it well.
Cool.
With her kids and
good.
Stuff. So there you go. So kudos, Tracy. Laura, pipe it in, says, I think the age of the children can play a big part in this situation. Tracy goes, sadly, I've done this twice. But you've done it well. At least, the way it looks out, outward, and it seems like you did a really good job, Tracy. So your kids are very well well adjusted. So at least they always seem to be. So
it's good.
The kids are always watching. This is true. She says your
Mhm.
behavior is good or bad will be remembered.
Yep.
That is very, very
like sponges.
What if you have one parent that feels that they're more important than the other?
Mhm.
What happens then? And then those actions, come out, to where the kid actually thinks that no, one's more important than the other. How does that happen?
Brainwashing. Starts young.
Okay.
The kids see what's going on, and the more the parent plays out that they're more important, that's the way the kids are going to learn it.
Okay.
Until the kids start to think for themselves, which I've seen
Yep.
happening. And they actually will start to see what's really going on.
Yeah,
and they make
Go
their
ahead.
own decisions, and then they start to see what the truth is.
Now, this could happen either way with both either the father or the
Sure.
mother.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not one in specific that it could happen with.
Yeah.
But I think you're exactly
Mhm.
right. I think the child or the children will see that
Mhm.
eventually, and actually could be quite the anarchy.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yep.
So, but I have seen that happen where kids have figured it out.
They know.
Of course they know.
Mhm.
Of course they know.
Then you have the ones that play it to their advantage. Not maliciously. That's just the way
No.
life is.
Or is it because that's what they learned?
Both. I think naturally kids are going to want what they want. That's it.
Yeah.
And they know how to play the game.
Yeah. They do?
Yeah. And then
They do.
eventually they start to get old enough to say, hey, they want more than physical things. They want love and attention. And then they know how to get it, where it comes from. And that's what they want. So
It takes time,
Mhm.
but after a while, it goes in here. Bing,
Yep.
And then it goes off. So
Yep.
It's a rough situation. It's hard. Co-parenting is hard. It's not something. It's not a, believe me, and I'm sure Rich will attest to
Mhm.
this. This is not a matter of going to court and putting things down in paper and having a
No.
judge stamp it.
no, because they don't know the reality of anything. They don't.
Not only that, well, what are they really there for? What's the court
They're
really there
following
for?
the letter of the law.
Right.
Right.
And to come to an agreement, because what happens,
Yeah.
when you go there, you go, go to family court, and you end up sitting with a counselor, trying to hash something out.
Yeah.
And then what happens? You go back. Do you agree? Yeah. Do you agree? And really, nobody agrees. They're just tired from getting beat up.
That's what happened to me. I was just eventually, I
Both.
was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm agreeing to everything. Whatever. Just get it over with and done with.
Right.
And I don't. Yeah, it's the way you're down.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I got a horrible. What do you call those? The mediator. And she was a man hater. She literally was. I'm not even like exaggerating because I'm a guy.
Yeah.
Because my lawyer was like, "Oh, geez, we got that one. She's known for being a man hater."
Yeah.
And it was obvious. She didn't even want to hear what I had to say about anything. It was. She even said, "Sir, I'm not here talking to you." That was it. I said, "Really?" Because I thought you were supposed to be a mediator. And she's like, "You can't talk to me that way. We'll end it right now if you talk to me that way." It's like, okay, I see where this is going.
Let's see. Victoria says my middle son has an ex that lives for drama and conflict.
Mhm.
She's lucky I raised my son well. He's a better person than I because I would have snapped by now. We work hard to shelter our granddaughter from her mom's craziness.
Mm.
She'll figure it out when she gets older and probably land up with her dad full time.
Oh.
I think a lot of people say that. Well, they're just going to end up with the other parent. I don't think it really happens much.
I think you'd be surprised sometimes.
I think the stats are really low on that. I think that's more of
going with the father.
either
or in
one.
general,
Yeah. Let's say the father has custody.
Yeah.
Has physical custody
Yeah.
of the child, right? And then the kid will end up with his mother. Maybe, but I think the stats on that are very, very low.
Yeah, usually you
of that
start with
actually
one.
happening.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So co-parenting is hard. Is there a
Mhm.
right answer? No.
I don't think you're ever going to have a right answer.
No, I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that you have to. You're not going to agree.
No, you can't ever agree with anything. Anybody.
You may agree on some things.
Yeah.
But you're never going to always agree on things.
No.
Otherwise, you'd still be together.
Yep.
But you also have to work with one another, you know, as far as what the for the child is concerned. I see too many times that one parent, male or female, try to grab that brass ring, you know, and be the A parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I'm the only one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my family. That's all you need. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. You see it.
What happens? Here's another scenario.
Oh.
Now, folks, tell me if you know about this scenario. And it happens. It's out there. What about when your ex, either custodial parent or non-custodial, tries to be the child's best friend?
Oh,
instead of, you know what I mean?
Instead of
parenting.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? Now, this could either way.
It's catastrophic.
Right. So let's say you and I were a gay couple and we adopted a child, right? It could happen. Not, but
am I not good enough? What?
No. You don't love me anymore. You could this is the LGBTQ segment of the morning show. Let's say that you ended up with custody of our child. I'm just saying because we're here, right? And now all of a sudden you're best friends with your kid. Is that more about trying to coerce that child to be with you instead of go to the other parent?
Well, I think there could be a couple different scenarios.
Yeah. Or what about the non-custodial parent doing the same thing? You know,
I think,
are they trying to attract the person, the child, away from the other parent?
I think some do it
goes both ways.
With the malice of doing that.
Yeah.
And I think some do it without realizing they're doing it.
Okay.
I think some believe it's just easier because they listen or because we're buddies. We're making each other happy. I think some do it because, like you said, some are trying to use it as a tool against, which is what I was used to having happen to me.
Gotcha.
And then I think there's people were raised that way themselves, so that's what they know. I think you go multiple different scenarios, I think, but either one is going to be catastrophic to the kid because they're not going to know what's right or wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And they're going to think the other one's bad because then they have rules.
Oh, goodness. Have you ever had a situation where your son has come to you, and has said, "Dad, I want to do this. I want to do this." And you said, "Well, let me talk it over with your mother." And then you talk it over with your mother or with his mother. And then you come to a decision and the answer is no. And then he goes home and she flips it around.
A couple times.
Okay.
Yeah, Dad said no. Like, no.
What about after you've agreed?
Yeah.
And how does that make you feel?
Pissed off.
Yeah. Why?
It was used as a weapon.
There you go.
Yeah.
Daryl. Parent being a best friend in the situation always backfires. The kid will eventually take advantage, and the parent/best friend will have no idea what to do.
So you always said it was okay.
Kids like the quote-unquote fun parent.
Yeah.
They do.
I see it all the time. See it all the time.
Yeah. Are you the fun parent?
No. I'll tell you that right now.
No.
Nope.
Not at all, huh?
Although it's interesting.
Although I see your kids with you and they're fine.
Yeah. It's interesting because who always gets the phone call when they want something?
Moving on.
Yep.
This is not about me.
No. It happens to me.
Huh?
It happens to me.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, can I get this? Dad, I need this. Dad, I need this. I need this.
Yeah.
Like, well, you're not with me right now, so. But
yeah, the bottom line is it's a hard situation, and you have to be I believe, and believe me, I'm no counselor or nothing, and but I do believe that you have to have two parents that are willing to work together for the child and not for your own.
In the end, it's about the child.
Right.
You had a little bit of fun time, and now the rest of your life is based on what the kid needs. That's what I've always tried to spin it around in my head. After I try and cool down, try not to make a decision right away.
Yeah.
Because you make the worst decisions when you got emotions involved.
Yeah.
So I always try and wait to make a decision, and then what's in the best interest, whether it's yes or no, of what's best for Ryan.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a softball subject this morning because you and I both are within co-parenting situations that one is easier than the other, I think. But still, this is more about getting other views from folks to see what they think.
I'd like to know
we're not the only ones that do it. There's thousands and millions of others that do.
Yeah, I only know a couple that aren't not necessarily in that situation.
Yeah.
But I'd like to know, does anybody have any bad experiences they want to tell, or is everything rosy?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. So far, we've heard nothing about except puppies and unicorns.
Yeah.
Are there any bad experiences with co-parenting?
You know, don't necessarily have to give details, but
yeah, you do.
Well, if they want to, I don't.
Give me the deets. Yeah, I'm wondering if there's anybody out there that has had any. That's a really good question.
Because I don't think that we're necessarily.
Because so far, what we have heard from people that are joining this morning is, well, this is what you should do.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's reality?
Did that really happen? or, what kind of difficulties did you have? Yeah. And one thing I will say, and I'm sure, is that as the parent or one of them, whenever you get into an argument, one of them is never wrong.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never wrong. Even if they are. I could be wrong. I'll say, no, I'm not. No, I could be wrong. But I may not say it. Yeah. There you go. That's exactly it. That's when you start losing the emphasis on what's good for the kid. And now it's not about right or wrong. It's about who's going to win.
Yep.
So there you go. So yeah, I'm curious to see if anybody has any Riches, I'm curious too. Any bad experiences when it comes to co-parenting?
And what did you learn from it? That would be.
Because
I learned a lot from the bad experiences.
Yeah. So by telling this, you quite possibly could help other parents.
Yeah.
That may be struggling as well to co-parent.
Got quiet, huh?
Crickets all of a sudden. Nobody wants to talk about that.
Nope.
I'm sorry, I can't talk about it. It's still in litigation.
That's why I was like, you don't have to give details.
Huh?
You don't need names. Let me put it that way, because
no.
it could be. You see the other half at home. Print.
Yeah,
that's happened to me. So
I can honestly say, my first wife, we have a child together, and as far as co-parenting is concerned, between the two of us, we had other issues that had nothing to do with co-parenting, but no, we didn't. Nancy's a good mom.
Good.
She's a really good mom, and so.
Well, I tell you, one big mistake always stuck in my head, and I've learned from it big time, was we had a bad experience in the beginning.
Yeah. Guess who the first person to send me a Happy Father's Day this year? Nancy, my ex-wife. Wow. Yeah, so
don't see that a lot.
Huh?
Don't see that a lot.
No. And like I said, she's a good mom.
Yeah.
She's a good mom.
But,
she always has been. She's just one of those just caring kind of people.
One big thing I learned, and I see people do it all the time, is when we were first divorced.
Yeah.
We had a bad experience with co-parenting in the beginning. And I blew up on, I think it was Facebook about it.
Yeah.
And boy, did that backfire. So
I don't know if I read this one by Daryl. A parent being a best friend in that situation always backfires. The kid will eventually take advantage. Yeah. We did that. Okay, here's another one from Daryl. From the Healthy Computer, School Street, Jewett City. That's not a plug.
No, can't tell.
It's fact. Daryl said, I had a terrible experience trying to get the other parent to co-parent. After a while, she went MIA. I don't like talking about it because making it through was pure hell.
Wow, that's rough.
Yeah, these things really, the serious effect, not just on the kids, but on the
Everybody,
parents. Yeah. He also says, luckily, my wife stepped into the role. She had no idea what she was getting into. Laughing emoji. LOL.
Well, at least he had someone to step up. That was
Come on. You know how many people type LOL and they're not really LOLing? One of the reasons it works, things work better than they ever did, like with Melissa, is Melissa, genuinely cares.
That helps.
Yeah. She doesn't get much of an opportunity, but she genuinely cares. My wife, before, if I've been married twice, just so you know, was kind of brutal to my daughter, my youngest daughter. Very
not
brutal.
hers.
No, it wasn't hers.
Right. Yeah,
she was a stepmother.
Yeah.
But she was to the point, and actually I told my daughter a story just the other day of how things, played out. And one of the things was, like, put it this way, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good situation, to the point where about 3-4 years after, 3 years maybe, we were divorced and done. She actually wrote a letter to my daughter apologizing.
Okay.
Yeah, it was brutal. Some of the things she said was pretty brutal.
Wow.
You can say that to an adult, but some of the things you say.
Wow.
So, but it's okay. We all have our things, or whatever. And I appreciate the fact that she realized that maybe she wasn't the nicest person in the world to her.
Well, sometimes it takes a while.
It does. So I've spoken to my ex-wife about this, and and I told her I appreciated her for doing that. So
good.
Which was good. So
wow.
She doesn't mean any, real harm. That's not who she is. So Daryl says I LOL all the time. Actually, he's a goofball. He does.
Well, it sounds like he has to. Sounds like he has to.
Yeah.
So
this is not about my personal experience or your personal experience, even though I've tried to drag some stuff out of you, which you've thankfully have been good about it, and to share some of your personal experiences as well as everybody else. But I really would like to know somebody, to come forward and say, hey, this isn't all what it's cracked up to be.
No,
there's nobody getting along. Everybody hates each other. And
I'll be honest, it started out that way with us.
Okay. How long did it take you to get to the point? Or let me ask you a question. Did you get to a point and thought you were good and all of a sudden, crash and burn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought I was doing the best, and there was situations where I learned that and then maybe necessarily wasn't being the best in that situation. Yeah. In that situation. Like I said, I always tried to work it out to the point where I was doing the best for Ryan. But then there were times I had to figure out that, maybe I was thinking about myself and not necessarily Ryan.
Gotcha.
But I can say that a lot of the times she was very spiteful, and what she was doing was in the terms of being spiteful, not necessarily.
What do you mean spiteful? Your
Like,
ex, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. I never hid this. She knows it, so I can say it.
Okay.
I had Ryan for Christmas morning.
Okay.
And Ryan,
For a minute, didn't sound right. Like you had more. It's like you ate him for breakfast.
yes, it was very good. But we had, he was hanging out with us for Christmas at my mother's house because we were doing it there. And he had made cookies and stuff with my mother. And we were running a little late because I gotten up late. I worked midnights the night before. So I got up and my mother had him going and everything because luckily my mother was willing to help out and my father. And, we were running a little late, maybe a half hour. She wasn't doing anything at her house. They always did Christmas Eve.
Right.
So we're like, no big deal. I text her, hey, we're running a little bit behind. And she's like, no, you got to have him here by this time. Like you said, you're not doing anything. Ryan just made cookies and he wants to have cookies that he made. She had the cops come to the house.
Yeah.
And I'm standing at the door and I'm like, I know you guys can't really do anything about this. And I knew the cop because he used to live in my basement. So he's like, sorry, dude, but we got called. And I'm like, what are you doing? You can't do anything.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily a police issue.
Yeah.
And for the benefit of Ryan.
Is that a power play by one of the parents
100%.
to say, I'm right here. You're not. Good parent, bad parent.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ryan's standing now at the door crying.
And you are damaging your child.
Yeah, he was standing at the door crying. And so nothing bad happened because I could feel myself getting.
Sure.
And so I'm like, Ryan, just grab your stuff. And she was out in the street. Like there was a big scary thing going on.
Mm.
So.
I had a situation like that once.
Yeah.
Where I had one of my kids and that needed to be home by 6.
Mm-hmm.
After having them for a court-ordered 2.5 hours.
Yes.
We were at a bakery with my parents.
Wow.
Because they never got to see her. So they came with me. Well, I called and said, hey, look, we're going to be about 5 minutes late because they're finishing up their homework.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing. One of the things I had to do their do homework with them. So we had to find a place to go, whether it was Friendly's or McDonald's or whatever to do it. Because I didn't live there or out that way.
Yep.
Police show up. No joke. No joke. And they literally walked my child over to, and I'm like, are you serious? I said, and I said, I just called and said, we're going to be a few minutes late when they're on time. So what you said, and that's what I'm talking about when it comes to co-parenting and stuff. Those are the ridiculous stories.
Yeah.
Which make absolutely no sense. What do you think the child's thinking?
Yeah.
What do you think your child's thinking? You seeing the flashing lights.
He was
Which
scared.
parent is in trouble?
Oh, he knew. Yeah.
Who's scared?
Yeah.
All right.
And his Christmas for that day was ruined. And he still remembers it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and it goes back to what we said at the very beginning.
Yeah.
It's like it's the kids who lose. It's not whatever parent wants to pull a power play, whether it's the father or the mother or whatever. It's not to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the bottom line is it's really about the kid. It's not about me. It's not about her. To her, it should be not about him or me or anything like that. It should be about what's best for the child.
Should be.
And I think I asked you this already. Has your ex ever given you the impression or come off, and acted out to, make it look like she is the best for your child? And,
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens? What happens in that situation with you?
Well, it makes me mad, but I try and hide it. And I just go about doing what I'm supposed to do because I know that's what Ryan sees. Ryan knows the truth. That's what I think. Yeah. What anybody else?
Well, he's
thinks?
old enough too.
He is now. Yeah. Even back then, he knew what was going on. He could tell. He would say, why is this happening? Why is that happening? He's always asked.
Yeah.
And I tried.
Nicholas would be like, why? You answer a question. Why? Answer that question. Why?
Yep.
Answer that question. Why?
Mm-hmm.
You get like 6 whys, and all of a sudden you hear, why? That's exactly what it did.
So I didn't necessarily tell him the truth because he wasn't, back then he wasn't old enough to understand anything, really.
Yeah.
But I always knew in the end what was going to happen.
Have you ever done this? Well, young man, we did this, but mommy and I both believe that this is the best thing for you at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Even though you don't believe it at all, or she doesn't believe it at all.
Mm-hmm. Oh, a few times, not a lot, but a few times. Because he still does. He's like, can I do this? Can I do that? Well, you have to ask your mom. She's the one that, you still have to do it together no matter what. But and there's times that.
But does she ever say you got to ask your dad?
No. Because
why?
He doesn't ask her first.
Huh?
He doesn't ask her first about anything.
Okay. Because kids will play the parents.
Well, that's why I always say you got to ask.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to play that game. I don't.
But what if the other parent doesn't ask and just makes the decision based on what they think
that
is best?
happens to me all the time.
Yeah. Is that right, wrong, or indifferent?
It sucks.
Yep.
Yep. Because there'd be times that, hey, you got to pay this medical bill for Ryan. For what? Well, when he went to the doctor.
When?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know about this.
When? Yeah.
When were you going to tell me? Oh, you tell me when the bill comes in?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, his checkup. When was his checkup? Or Ryan will come home. Hey, Dad, I grew 3 inches and I weigh this much now.
Well, that's great.
Cool. What?
Well, yeah.
Well, when I'm here for my physical at the doctor's office. Oh, okay.
Daryl says it really pisses you off at first when they try to prove to be the better parent. When the kid gets older and they see what is really going on, you both can laugh at the situation.
Right, exactly what I was saying. Yeah. It sucks for you at first, but in the end, your job is to suck it up, I guess, a little bit. That's
and again, male or female. It happens both ways. It happens to it could happen to either parent. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen it both ways.
Yeah. I'm sure she'd probably sitting at home saying the same thing about
me. The bottom line is, and this is one thing I've always tried to stress is, we both had a kid together.
Yeah. You at some point
I'm no more important than you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's more important than their own head, I guess, is the best way to.
So anyway, I want to go off subject for a minute. We just heard a siren downtown.
Yeah, I can see
right?
it.
And we can see the state trooper pulled somebody over. They're doing I don't know if I'm sure you're probably aware, but they're doing much more speed enforcement within the borough of Jewett City, even to the point where I guess they had a meeting with all the resident state troopers and they're going from town to town, or they did last week.
Yeah.
So last week there was 5 troopers here.
Yeah, it was 6. Yeah.
Oh, it was 6.
Yeah.
Oh, so you even know how many exactly. So the troopers were in town and they were just doing speed enforcement everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were focusing on the borough, but they branched out a little bit. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I saw.
And they were handing out tickets. They weren't warnings.
Yeah. Well, do you see how people barrel ass through here?
Yeah, we saw this morning.
Yeah, I know. I almost got nailed by some guy. He was looking, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Hang 10.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to be doing it for a little while, I guess.
Yeah, well, I guess they're going from town to town.
Well,
they're rotating.
I think focusing is probably the best way to put it.
On speeding, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Borough Warden Tim Sharkey, and he was saying he was giving me the information about how they all met. They said okay, and they're going from different towns.
Nice.
Go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're back in Jewett City because is there 1 or 2 down there?
I can't really tell.
Maybe I'll put my glasses on. Daryl, it's right outside your damn door. Take a look. Oh, they got him out of the car.
Really? They found something. Huh?
There's 3.
Oh, they were focusing on something. There.
There's 3 troopers down there.
So there's
Daryl, get out, go over there. Just go outside of your store, take a left, and look about 20 feet up.
Say 3 troopers, and there's a point.
He goes, they're always by my door. The Healthy Computer, School Street, Jewett City.
Nice.
Live and late breaking, or I don't know.
Breaking news, Jewett City. Yep.
That guy's in a jumpsuit.
One of the troopers?
Yeah. 1, 2. One of them's our resident trooper. You got your glasses on?
Yeah, I put my eyeballs in.
So, yeah. So, if you live in the borough of Jewett City, or if you're traveling through the borough of Jewett City, there has been a focus on speeding and reckless driving, because we can just by sitting here on Main Street, you can tell.
You hear it. You don't even have to see it.
I know. People, barrel through. And it really started, when they paved the roads.
Yeah.
That's when it really started. People come around the corner, on Route 12, Main Street.
Doing 50 at least. Sometimes.
Oh yeah. And I'm waiting for somebody to just roll their car because they're going that fast.
Yep.
There goes, reporting live on the scene. Large police presence on Main Street. Looks like a possible subject caught with illegal fireworks. More at 11. They've already been blown off, but still they have the evidence. Yeah, they got somebody. Anyway, so they're doing a lot more focus of that, and that's like I said, the resident state troopers are getting together and doing that.
It's good.
But it was speeding, reckless driving, going through stop signs. That's an
seatbelts too, right?
I didn't hear. Well, probably.
Yeah,
but I didn't. That's not the one of the.
Well, there
ones
was
I
a
heard.
focus at one point on seatbelts. I know that.
Yeah. Click it or ticket.
Yeah.
But you could sit at Carly Avenue off of Ashland, and you could finance the entire borough on what you could make on tickets.
You wish they could. The town doesn't get any money from that, but
no, the borough does.
Nope.
Did that stop?
State. It goes to the state general budget. Unless there was a special deal made.
Last I knew, the borough got $10.
They must have made a special deal then.
Yeah, that's all. That's always been, but I'll check in on that.
Yeah, no,
but
they may have made a deal with the state on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Last I knew it was for every ticket paid in the borough from the resident state trooper, the borough would get $10.
Oh, from the resident trooper. So they must have made a deal. Yeah, they must be in the contract. Yeah.
Well, it's not going to be not the resident state trooper come up and take $10 out of their wallet and say, "Here you go. Here you go, Tim. You got me."
No, from the tickets, I know like motor vehicle infractions and stuff goes to the general fund when they get paid. So
they're all dispersing. So apparently,
maybe it was a scare tactic.
Well, all of a sudden, when you see 3 troopers, you're like, "What?"
That'll make you perk up.
Here? Yeah, no kidding. Daryl says we'll have more correspondent from the kid on the bike with the loud radio coming up.
Oh, they stop him? Yeah.
How many times I got to yell at that kid? Turn it down! Because, and I don't care if he's playing music. By the way, we're talking about a guy by the name of James. He's 27, 28 years old.
Is that how old he is?
He's autistic. He's actually a good kid. He doesn't mean anybody any harm.
Yeah.
And anybody plays loud gangster rap with lots of expletives.
I guess he doesn't live around here anymore. He was saying that the other day. He's here visiting.
Well,
maybe he's snowbirds.
I don't know. It's weird, but it's because it's happened for many years. It's not just this past year.
Okay.
Where he vanishes as soon as it gets cold. I mean, nobody sees him.
Say snowbirds.
How? Where?
He said he goes to a family's house or something like that.
And then all of a sudden it gets warm and he's here.
That may be his story, but who knows what the real
Who really knows? I have no idea, but it's very, very strange. He's known as Peaches.
I heard that, yeah.
Well, you know why?
Yeah, because he went and asked for peaches.
No,
that's what I was told.
James.
Literally, yeah.
James and the Giant Peach.
Oh, okay. Because I was told he went into Dean's and asked for peaches one day, and they gave him.
Well, that's probably that.
Yeah.
I should go in there and ask. Yeah. I ate canned peaches last night.
Were they good?
Yeah, they were.
Did they help?
It did. It did. I like canned peaches. I don't like peaches. You know what's something we did at home which made a difference? Well, last time. Yep, Cindy, we just said his name is James.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see Fight Club?
Yeah.
What was the guy? His name was what?
Oh, I don't remember that. I just remember you can't talk about.
Yeah, I know, but then one guy got killed in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
His name was. I don't know. They kept going on. All right. Cindy just says he stays in the Groton, New London area when not around town. Okay. Yeah, he just because he vanishes and then all of a sudden, whoop, there he is again. And now he's he's got like 20 bikes.
Because he always gets stolen.
He was riding one the other day. It was a motorized one. He drives by me and he goes, "Hey, yeah, this one goes 25 miles an hour. I don't have to do anything."
Well, he's got to be the fittest kid in the area. That's a.
He's harmless.
Yeah,
he really is.
Yeah.
I've talked to him many, many times. We have an apple tree, a small apple tree in the front yard, and last year, Melissa says James was picking all our fruit off the tree earlier. I said, "What?" So I said, "All right, I'll talk to him." So he talks. He comes by. I said, "Hey, James, stop a minute. I got to talk to you." He said, "Yeah, what's up?" And like I said, kid's harmless. He's nice. He's kind. You know, I don't think he doesn't ever seem to get mad at anybody.
Music.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. You know, he's like I said, he's an autistic young man.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know, James, I don't care if you have some of the apples, but I'd appreciate it if you asked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of just he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, man." He goes, "You know, I mean, I love fruit. Fruit is my life. Fruit is life." And I went, "Dude, yeah, okay, I don't mind."
Mm-hmm.
Daryl says, "Yeah, he's a cool kid. The radio thing is my only issue." He says, I said, "It's all right, man. Just say hey. You know,
might I have an apple? I'm hungry."
Yeah. Or I just, so
one apple a day.
We get done with the conversation, and finally he goes, "So can I have an apple?" Sure. See how that works, James? He goes, "Okay." So he goes over and starts filling up his pocket with apples. I said, "James, you can have a couple." Okay. He's a good kid. God. He's not even a kid. He's like 28 now, I think.
Yeah, I had no idea how old he was. I couldn't tell.
He's like 27, 28 years old. So I don't know of anybody that really has a problem with James at all. He's a nice boy.
Mm.
You know,
I've heard some people get agitated or
because of his boombox.
Yeah.
And he turns it up really, really loud. It's and then he'll drive by and he goes, "Yeah, I can't talk right now. I'm on a conference call." He's got like 6 people, that he's talking
on his
phone. Yeah, "I'm on a conference call. I'll get back to you." Okay, man. All right. Oh, I think our conversation was relevant this morning about talking about co-parenting. I think a lot of people are afraid to talk about it.
Well, because I think people are afraid of it being held against them.
Exactly. I think that's a good point. Instead of actually just negotiating it out, but I think the thing is you have to have both parents need to concede certain issues, really for the benefit of the child. If you're sitting there trying to hold on to everything that you think is right or what you want, then that's not going to work, and the child's eventually going to see that. At some point.
I think the best advice we got from our judge, from our I want to say trial because it wasn't a trial or process, you want to call it that, was at the end. He's like, "Listen," and honestly, as much as I think our judge sucked because he was not for any man in court by any means, it was obvious, but it was, you have an agreement, throw it out the window. You do what's best for the kid. And then if you have a problem, then you can go back to the agreement and go everything based on that. So it was like a baseline and it was a fallback. If you can't come up with some kind of compromise between the two of you, then you fall back to the agreement, because then that'll make the decision if you can't make a decision between the two of you.
Yeah.
But other than that, you do what's in the best interest of the kid.
Yeah, that's true. And you'd hope both parents would see that.
And honestly, I think in most cases, it is asking a lot.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot more rare than what we've seen in the chat room this morning, where it's amicable.
Yeah, very rarely is it ever amicable. As much as people say it's amicable,
it's not.
It wasn't amicable.
No. And
otherwise, there wouldn't be a divorce.
Yeah, we said that earlier.
Yeah,
yeah, and remember, it's like, don't use your kid as a tool.
Yeah,
because
that's the important thing.
Neither mother or father.
Yeah, because the kid's only getting screwed. In the end, that's who's getting screwed.
Exactly. Unfortunately.
But yeah. Giddy up.
All right, Rich. Thanks for coming by. Hope you had a good holiday weekend.
It was good. I actually got to have a holiday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Paul Ash will be here tomorrow morning, and we will be back tomorrow morning.
Remember,
we have a baseball game later on today, but
no, you don't. No, you might. You might.
Oh, because of the weather?
Yeah, you might.
Oh, okay.
Well, the last forecast I saw, the arrow, when they threw the dart, landed by 8 o'clock for rain.
Oh, 8 o'clock at night?
Yeah. So I think you'll be all right, unless the game is late.
I'm assuming the game's going to start around 5:30.
You might be all right.
So anyway, the Little League All-Stars 11, 12-year-olds, they beat Moose up 13-4 the other day. So now they advanced to today. But we don't know exactly where they're going to be. They could be either in Coventry or they could be in wherever Preston Norwich
I hope
plays.
they make that decision soon.
Well, I just they haven't let me know yet. So hopefully they'll let me know too, so.
That's not necessarily close to each other.
No, I know. All right, have a good day. We'll see everybody tomorrow right here on SNSN. See ya.
Yep.
You see the signs everywhere. No alcohol if under 21. No tobacco under 21. No vaping supplies under 21. It's 21 for a reason.
Youth that use alcohol are more likely to engage in other risky behaviors, such as gambling. Learn the